Tell me one thing which American legal system should learn from India, and something which America is doing right and we are not doing in India.
One thing which the American legal system should learn from India is that we have widened access to justice to the poor. Our system does not cater only to, the rich, the powerful, the elite, and the corporate vested interests. That's something which I think America needs to learn from India. There are things which we have done in India, for instance, in terms of protecting women's rights, say rights to abortion, which America has gone back now. India is far ahead of the curve. But broadly, in terms of access to justice, something that we need to learn from the US in India, I think what we need to learn in India is the efficiency of the system. In terms of holding timelines, कि आप एक केस जो फाइल होता है वो केस का निर्णय होना चाहिए 3 साल में across the system, not that cases should remain pending for years and years, for decades together. So there is something that we have to learn, not just from the US, but from other countries as well, which have been able to bring order to the trial of cases.
True. Which court do you think will be, or which country's justice system is the best, apart from ours?
Of course,
you'll be biased.
Sare jahan se acha, I mean, that's where we are. We are
that's
Indians.
why you'll be biased. That's why
I know. I understand the limitations of the system as well, but we work within that system. We are proud of our system. I wouldn't be able to say that, well, which system is the best, because every system has its pluses, every system has its negatives. We are basically in the common law tradition. And the common law has evolved in countries like the UK, Australia, the Commonwealth, basically. Every system has its pluses. Every system, for instance, in the financial world, in the commercial world, the English system is extraordinarily efficient, and has a huge amount of respect. Say Singapore, much smaller country. So Singapore will not have the problems of such a large country like India. But there's so many things that we can learn on how Singapore has brought tremendous efficiency in the disposal of commercial cases, including, the SIAC, the Singapore International Arbitration Court. So there's something to be learned from across the world.
Oh. Norway, do you like that? Scandinavian countries have very good system.
The Scandinavian countries follow more of a social welfare model, but you must also, we must also understand that their population size makes all the difference.
True.
You're not talking of a country of 1.4 billion people, and that makes the whole difference to the inflow of cases.
Fair. You said that we should look at the compensation of judges, but then the administration people will have some of their issues and everything, right? So for a country to thrive, we need to get richer, because as the economy gets better, as we make more money, we will be able to probably give more compensation to these positions so that then best talent can join us, right? At some point, we need to start looking at getting richer. What do you think? Models like China, where China grew at more than 10% for like 30 years. Are they better because they're a non-democratic kind of system versus ours, which is extremely democratic, but it has its own challenges, and maybe the cost that we pay is of growth?
Our country made that choice when the Constitution was adopted.
True.
Right? On the 26th of November 1949, and eventually when, India became a republic, that we will be a democracy governed by a written constitution which embodies fundamental rights and fundamental human liberties. Constitution which is founded on fraternity, equality, liberty, and freedom. China is a different model altogether. And I think, there's no need to look at China as an aspirational statement on the rule of law. I think we have to be proud of the system which we have adopted. and understand the limitations or the imperfections of the system. And now in the next wave of reform, try and find answers to it. Reforms took place in the 1990s when the market reforms took place. Reforms have been taking place ever since, on various areas, whether it's in terms of foreign direct investment, in deregulation, in reducing the burden of bureaucracy, as in the licensing provisions, restraints on capital control, and so on and so forth. So I think the next wave of reform has to be in terms of reforming the legal system. I was attending a conference many years ago when there was a judge from China. It was a conference on the environment. And a group of judges were in a session. And we were talking about, the rule of law and the role of an independent judiciary in preserving the environment rule of law. And I made a presentation on the environment rule of law in a democratic society. And the judge from China said that, for us, there's nothing called judicial independence. We want an efficient judiciary. I don't think we are accepting of an efficient judiciary without judicial independence.
Not at all.
Not at all. But judicial independence cannot be an excuse not to have judicial efficiency.
Fair.
You must have an efficient judiciary which is in sync with modern times while preserving judicial independence.
Fair.